Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguణarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha Sthiti Prakarana, sections 32 onwards. You have just concluded a mystic parable of Dama, Vyala, and Kata. And let me give you a little review of that. In a storyline, Sambara, a demoniac, powerful spirit, created 3 generals of demoniac army, Dama, Vyala, and Kata. In the beginning, these fought against gods, and ultimately they were defeated by gods. King Sambara now began to evaluate the situation, and he came to understanding that these demons, demon generals, they are defeated because their ego rises in them. Ego rises, and that takes away most of the energy. Facing any challenge or doing any job, if ego begins to interfere too much, ego starts saying, why don't you do it quick? What will happen if you didn't do it? I'm joking, but so many things. Ego brings in a whole Google information. And then all the qualitative energy is dumped. And therefore, virtue in you becomes defeated, as it were. The negative will dominate. There's subtle meaning behind it. But come to the storyline. He created now demons that were not dominated by vasanas. The demons that were immune to egoism, without ego, egoless demons. Now gods had terrible time. Ultimately, they had to go to Brahma. And Brahma explained to them, they cannot be defeated if ego does not rise in them. So if you could ignite or create ego in them, bring about egoism. And gods knew well that art. So now there was a big battle, and gods, hardly they started battling, they started running away, giving so many palabras. How wonderful all of you look. We have never fought generals of the army like you. And the generals, they began to look at themselves. How good do I look? I'm elaborating this story. But then soon, God turned back and gave a good hit. When the demons, generals began to shake, now they started scolding. You who are so big, what happened? What a mistake I had to praise you so much. Now these demons became so distracted by their ego, they were easily defeated. At this stage, Yoga Vasistha gives you many subtle details. But before I can give you a little breaking the suspense, when the demon king Sambara comes to know what happened, this time he creates demons. They were in them egoistic influence will become neutralized. He created that type of demons very equal to enlightened sages. This time, gods were unable to defeat them. They had to go to Brahma. And Brahma brought Lord Vishnu. And ultimately, they were all sublimated by Lord Vishnu, including the Sambara, the king of demons. Coming back to those words, Dama, Vyala, Kata. Dama is opposed to Dhamma. Dhamma is controlling the mind and senses. For assimilating the three aspects of the mantra. Therefore, thou, thine, thee, you see, thou is Deo, Dedo. Da is a very powerful word. And what are those three? Dhamma, controlling the mind and senses. Dana, charity. Daya, compassion. If these three qualities are entering within you and develop maturity, then you are in a positive state. But that negative movement, which deprives you of Dhamma, doesn't allow you to develop that nutritional assimilation of then that is called Dhamma. Dhamma, demon. Demon Dhamma is a general that affects your Ajna Chakra. The next general is Vyala. Vyala is literally means snake. Vyala relates to Ichha Shakti. Ichha Shakti relates to your heart center, described as Kama. What happens? Your heart begins to bring in Ashubha vasanas, negative, subtle desires. They operate like venomous snakes. That's called Vyala movement. And the third general, Kata. It responds to Manipur Chakra, navel center, which is Kriya Shakti. Remember, three centers in Kundalini are very important. Navel center, that's Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti is the source of your self-effort. Self-effort in the right direction. If Kriya Shakti is there, It will promote purity of heart. If Kriya Shakti is not utilized in a healthy way, you will be deprived of purity of heart. Kriya Shakti is your Purushartha, self-effort. That self-effort is cut by the negative force. So, Dharma cuts down your knowledge, understanding by which you control your mind and senses. Vyala cuts down purity of heart. Kata cuts down your right self-effort. So these three are constantly there with people. The next set that Sambara creates is Bhima, Bhasa and Drdha. This time he created demons who were in his understanding enlightened. They would not become identified with their bodies. And their names are Bhima, Bhasa and Drdha. Bhima relates to your naval center, where your self-effort is free of limitation. It is Bhima movement. Like Bhima in the Mahabharata, Hanuman. Your self-effort is free of restriction. Kriya Shakti is well developed. Bhasa relates to your heart center. Now your bhavana that used to be smoky, smokes have dispersed, now it is shining. Bhas, subhas. And ultimately, when the ignorance is removed, Agya Chakra, Tattva Gyan, knowledge of the self has been attained, then called Drdha. Drdha literally means firm. Mystically, Dri is drishti, vision. Drdha, arud, vision that has gone to the climax. Mix them to Drdha. So Bhima, Vyala and Kata is a negative movement. Bhima, Vyala, Kata. Dama, Vyala, Kata. And Bhima, Bhasa, Drdha. One comes down, another goes up. Yoga Vasistha continued, O Rama, the spirits of these three demons, Dama, Vyala and Kata, are still wandering through the process of repeated embodiments. However, they will eventually attain liberation. For every spirit must return to the essential nature. Simple point. Those who are liberated, for them Bhima, rather Dama, Vyala, Kata are sublimated. Those who are not, these three will continue. They will continue to haunt the soul, but they are not eternal. One must follow the path revealed by the scriptures. For by following the path of vice, the intellect remains tinged with the erroneous notions of this is mine and this must become mine. This explanation of the raga, attachment. You go on. Raga is an effort to fulfill the urge to love. Anything joyous you want to be attached to. But the error comes, what you really love, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. What you really love is the self. not the ego, etc., the real self, the Atma, that is what you are, your own essential nature. But led by Dhamma, Vyala, Kata, that negative movement, you are looking for fulfillment of love, looking for a cozy environment in the world. By this allowing your mind to go after so many objects. At this point I have explained the object that seem pleasant today and you want to love it, want to say it should stay forever. Tomorrow, let it go to hell. So, mind is never clear about what is to be loved. So the world of raga dvesha is a shaky world. So, if gripped by raga dvesha, one is unable to exercise one's purushartha, self-effort, in a correct manner. In other words, the more you free yourself of the pressure of raga, dvesha, attachment and hatred, greater is your ability to allow your energies to flow to fulfill the purpose of your life. You will enrich yourself with dharma, artha, kama, moksha. When the mind is constantly dealing with me and mine in a wrong way, me not understanding what is really me, mine, that again another delusion. This deprives an individual of the effectiveness of his self-effort and also deprives him of the sense of inner freedom. There develops a sense of helplessness. This in turn leads him to believe himself to be a mere slave to the blind forces of the world. You're daily watching, what's the news? And you are just helpless. News is in the hands of the newsmakers. On the other hand, by pursuing the path of virtue, an aspirant becomes increasingly aware of the freedom to apply his self-effort, thereby leading him to that magnanimous vision of the self, before which even the entire universe becomes like a straw. Always reminding you of the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to understand Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The sun is real and all illuminations are mithya. Brahman is real. But all that your mind and senses are refracting Brahman, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is being the source of your iPad, not the little big iPad. Brain and nervous system. It's not a joke, it's a reality. People go have their eyes open and wide. They collect so many data. One simple thing their mind doesn't go after. What makes you bring all the data? Your brain. Doesn't look so good. Your iPads don't look good. But then they bring in all that. The reality in you is not confined to that iPad, not confined to all that you experience through your brain and nervous system. Therefore, you have a relief every day when you go to sleep. But that relief state has to be understood. How to bring your daily life in touch with the silence and stillness that you experience in your deep sleep. So go on living your daily life, but let that profound peace be at the back of everything. And that's another way of saying, let presence of God, a sense of your union with God, that should be the dominating factor. Even while facing bitter conditions of adversity, one must not tread the path of unrighteousness, because such a movement is bound to lead one into increasing darkness of delusion. Take recourse to the path that is illumined by the sun of spiritual wisdom through the shining examples of teachings of sages and saints. Those who are never contented with the cultivation of divine virtues in their personality. Simple, subtle point behind it. When you are eating day by day, are you ever contented that I've eaten enough? From tomorrow, no more eating. When you start developing divine virtues, you are enjoying a profounder nourishment. Why should you become contented? That for 4 days I didn't become angry, I have controlled anger. So I don't need to practice any virtue. No need for satsanga. That's called the role of contentment. I've studied scriptures enough, satsanga enough. The better things to do in life. That type of idea coming to the mind is stupid. If you are on the right path, right course, every day is an adventure, a new vision of bliss. And the idea, when will this movement conclude? That's completely stupid. It is pranava, ever new movement. So, though they are never contented with the cultivation of divine virtues, who are ever devoted to the scriptures and increasingly attached to the truth. They are indeed true human beings. Others are mere animals. Animals means pashus. Pashus means souls gripped by pasas. Pasas are fetters. Just to remind you, Drdha, hatred. When Jnana enters, people start showing their teeth. That's what the animals do. Lajja. Lajja here is foxy lajja. You see a bigger enemy, you hide your claws and sink. Looks like a modesty, a lajja. But it is animal virtue. Bhaya, fear. Shanka, keeping mind always in suspicion. Jugupsa, fault-finding nature. Jealousy, also known as machar, a lot of mosquitoes. Cool, very proud of family line. Always speaking, my grandfather was this, a great-grandfather. Living with that type of illusion. Sheel, creating in your mind a whole picture of how one should be. One should appear civilized. And everyone has their own interpretation. Jati and the notion that you are born in the family of Brahmins, family of enlightened people, or born in the family of Vaishyas, Shudras. So it was that sense that you are, since you are born in a certain family, therefore you don't have to do anything for yourself. You are already born in the family of Trivedi, Chaturvedi, 4 Vedas, you know already. You may not know even a single Veda, but you're proud you are Chaturvedi, knower of 4 Vedas. So when mind develops this state of being restricted by all these 8 fetters, then the soul gripped by these 8 fetters called Pashu. And it is this Pasha, the 8 fetters, that are focused on in all temples and in all sacred occasions when people bow down or Sastanga Pranam, allowing 8 parts of the body to touch the floor. You are shaking off these 8 animal qualities. Let an aspirant reflect upon the emptiness of the sense enjoyments. Spend your serious time in understanding the importance of developing vairagya, this passion, and the importance of the goal of life. What is the goal of life? And your life is the best opportunity for attaining the goal. So first, thank God that that opportunity is given to you as a human being. Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam, mahapurush samshaya. You have the possibility, as being a human being, you develop aspiration. You have the possibility to develop aspiration. You have the possibility to be guided by a spiritual teacher and for attaining goal of life. So this is a tremendous privilege to a human embodied, soul embodied as a human being. And as a human being, you become truly sensible. You begin to ask yourself, first thing, you love yourself. You yourself is your reality. But then figure out, where is that yourself? And that goes on developing insights, the body, pranas, vital forces, senses, mind, ego. All these are not yourself. They are all your instruments. Then how to discover that yourself and stay firm, drdha, with that realization, sthita prajna. Same life, flowing on, creating karmas. Now same life flowing on to sthita prajna level, becoming enlightened. The challenges that you face in becoming enlightened are a lot of it. But compared to if you didn't attain enlightenment, even figure out just 2 or 3 embodiments and all the troubles that you face is like ocean life. The troubles that you face are being enlightenment. It's just a little few waves. I've enjoyed all types of worldly pleasures through numerous embodiments. This point also must become impressed in your mind that you are repeating the same experiences in every embodiment. If you are not enlightened or not moving towards enlightenment, then all that you are expecting is to repeat. Every day repeat. Time for tea, time for coffee, time for chit-chats, and so forth. Why should I crave for more and more? Such craving will lead me through countless embodiments in future. Let me therefore shun cravings for sense enjoyments. Let me aspire for liberation even in this very life. He who treads the path of virtue, his fame spreads even like the aroma of a flower. Let now understand. You practice the path of virtue. If you read this literally, it will give you the idea. Thereby you are going to become very famous. Scripture is not talking about that fame. You can go viral. Even cozy looking dogs and cats go viral. So that is not fame. You become a human being with that spirit of humanity. And humanity is, in a higher level, a divine basis within yourself, wafting the fragrance of divine love. When Davi Sampath begins to develop in a person, personality becomes like a inflorescence of beautiful flowers, creating their aroma. The flowers themselves don't know what aroma means. And who is taking those aromas? It's automatic. Even in a small scale, plan to live your daily life with a positive mind, with a joyous attitude. Put in all possibilities to keep your face smiling. And see the effect of that in your family, people around you. And let's plan the other way. I'm joking. Try to compare. Practicing the path of Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, that movement brings you that mystic fragrance. And your fame is beyond your imagination. Anyone who elevates himself in a spiritual way has inspired countless people to be elevated in different degrees. So that's what we mean. He who treads the path of virtue, his fame spreads even like the aroma of a flower. You want to go through detail of this? Let me remind you of any spiritually advanced person is described, addressed as Bhagavan. Bhagavan, why? 6 great attributes. They, in their infinite measure, that's the description of God. What are those 6 virtues? They are for Bhagas. First, Aisvarya. Allow godliness to exude through your personality. In your body, nothing is yours. So don't let ego shine through your nose, through your ears. I'm joking. Let God shine through it. And that's why the simple ritual. Your forehead with a little kumkum. The same forehead with mud on it. Now you have a kumkum on it. So you're allowing a divine Aisvarya to shine. Your body, mind, intellect, all this is expression of divine presence, divine glory. So that Aisvarya movement must be kept in your view. No matter how you view yourself through your ego's judgment is nothing. Next is Dharma, Aisvarya Dharma, path of virtue that leads you to liberation. Next is Yasa. Yasa, that's what I described, fame. Next is Shri, Davi Sampat, divine virtues, the real wealth, all the good qualities, humility, absence of vanity, sincerity, all those good qualities. Jnana, absolute knowledge. Absolute, but you are advancing, then depending upon degrees of ascending knowledge, ascending steps to enlightenment. And Vairagya, becoming completely detached from the world process, becoming like the sky. The sky sustains everything, no problem, but not a single scratch. So when you are developing these qualities, you don't develop it. If you are on the path that come to you, expressed through you in a natural way, sahaj. Remove the obstacles, remove your impurities, put yourself in the right course, and the divine qualities, Bhagavan, all the 6 virtues will begin to express. And people will turn you to you and say Bhagavan. If you don't like Bhagavan, Bhagavati. By adopting right effort, endowed with perseverance and righteous conduct. Another important point, perseverance. Abhyasa. Tatu dirghakal nairantarya satkar sevito. Dirghakal, never place a limited time before you for your spiritual movement. Or, this is very general, in life, never develop the sinking mood of mind. Do not promote it. It will come to you, but don't promote it. The sinking state that says all that you have learned is gone. Never so. Wait and watch. How much to wait? Don't worry about it. So, let me conclude on this. Dirghakal means no limit of time. Nairantarya, day by day, it should not be one day so much, 90%, next day only 10%, third day no percent. It should have day by day sustained movement. And while doing that, satkar sevito. Satkar, with a joyous faith and devotion. That all the mantras you are doing, not a single mantra has been in vain. Every movement Every little thing that you do in the name of God, or do on the path of virtue, every step you take never goes in vain. So when these qualities enter in your sadhana, then you are bound to attain self-realization even in this very life. When you tread the path of virtue, you should not be impatient regarding the attainment of the goal. A fruit that ripens in its normal course becomes sweet and juicy. That was sahaj. So too, spiritual movement that matures through patience and perseverance. Anyone is very eager to assert, I have attained enlightenment. And then people also give their symptoms and write letter. I have these symptoms. Am I enlightened? How long will take for me to be enlightened? If you are at that level, you have not understood what enlightenment is. Spiritual movement matures through patience and perseverance. And you are led, just like you are led to sleep. When you are being led to sleep, your mind calms down. It doesn't ask you question when, where, what moment. You are led in a spontaneous way to the state of enlightenment. O Rama, do not take recourse to those petty thoughts pertaining to wealth, possessions, objects of the world, because they continue to intensify the slumber of ignorance. The idea is, whatever you possess, wealth, possessions, objects, they should be means to an end. They should not be your end. That point has to be understood. It is not an absolute negation. If you absolutely negate yourself, you are nowhere. You can have wealth, you can have possessions, but all this lie aligned with your sadhana. But if you live with that type of support from the world, and make yourself more and more kind of internally satisfied that this is what I wanted. Thank God I followed sadhana and got all this money. That's leading you to ignorance, slumber of ignorance. Take recourse to wisdom and wake up to realize your essential nature. Do not abide in the world like an old turtle, slumbering in the ocean of grief. That's a brief description. Endeavor to destroy the very root of the world tree and bring about the cessation of birth and death. Aham vrikshasya reriva. I am the remover of the world tree. That has to become deep insight and aspiration. Once you realize that what you are experiencing is a dream, then the subtle urge within, let me shake this dream tree from its very root. The samskaras are the root that created the whole dream. And each time you wake up, you are shaking this whole set of the tree. So cutting down the tree is, you have to understand, it's not a big work. It's a process of enlightenment. The world you are experiencing, no matter how you experience it, how you may like it, that world is a dream, a long dream, where you are resolving 3 points. Who are you? You don't know. What the world is? You don't know. And what you are getting out of the world? You don't know. But then, go on. Wake up. All the 3 are the real I am, the real you. And in that discovery, you have not lost anything. You can wake up even while the dream goes on. All this is being said quickly, but you must realize your sadhana brings degrees of success. When you can handle challenges in your life with an internal feeling of resting in the arms of God, you are creating that movement of awakening. Worldly prosperity is the mother of all evils. Do not be attached to it. When adversity is properly confronted, it is the source of all good fortunes. True victory lies in negating all the objects of the world. Worldly prosperity, another name for Sanskrit name is Vyasan. I will give you simple points. In Mahabharata, they are known as Sansaptakas. 7 generals, demoniac generals, who were a suicide brigade. They had involved themselves to fight against Arjuna, fight and die, not to come back. And Arjuna is a soul. Soul had ultimately destroyed all those 7. And then he was able to move forward in a profound way. But what are those 7 points? You'll be surprised, little things. Tan, body. Same body, you attend on it in a regular, healthy way, it's your dharma. Perfectly good. But if you make your body an object of luxury, so you go after every little nail, and create something artificial in it. Create artificial things in your ears, nose, and daily work upon how to make your body look better. That becomes your goal, and the body becomes a basis of your vyatan, luxury, not living. Man, trying to keep your mind just happy no matter what. Simple manoranjan without any purpose. And so go after the whims of your mind. Then mind becomes an object of luxury. Anger, that's another luxury of rich people. They resolve the problems fast by showing their anger towards those whom they are paying salaries. And they have to shake because they want to get the salary. And big man enjoys it. This is called luxury. Vishaya, objects of pleasure. Dhan, wealth. Rajya, literally means kingdom. Here it means your possessions, possessions that you control. Sevak, having servants, and people whom you use only as, not as a human being, but as your servant. When these tendencies exist, your soul is not following the path of Dharma. Your soul has been distracted from Dharma. Therefore, in the spiritual path, all this is sublimated, cut down, and all these are directed towards positive. Your body, your mind, and whatsoever, all directed to a positive fulfillment of your purpose of your life. If you have removed these vyasanas, you become the very abode of Goddess Lakshmi herself. And with this I will conclude. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.